I haven't done one of these unboxing things since the Nintendo Switch back in March 2017, and it sure as hell wasn't in this formal capacity. I didn't have an audience. It was just me, my webcam, and me awkwardly talking into it. PS5, very exciting. We've been talking about how the last generation has been going on for, I think, 7 years? Has it really been that long? I think the Xbox One and the PS4 came out in 2013. So these machines have been around for a long time. Anyway, fast forward to today. So a lot of problems with console gaming. One, power. When you're selling a box once every like half to full decade, your stuff is gonna get outdated. Even if the games get better, the developers get better at using the technology, the players get better at using the hardware. You're still playing on a box that came out in 2013. The second thing is that, like, if you're a PC gamer, you know about SSDs. Load times are so killer on PC. So like all these consoles finally have built-in SSDs. The biggest thing when it comes to the consoles really is form factor. This thing is essentially a mid-sized tower. For the first time in a console generation, it seems like Sony and Microsoft are like, fuck it, let's make a super box. It only really came with the Ultimate Edition to Spider-Man, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales, but it also comes with an upscaled version of the PS4 Spider-Man, which was a fantastic open world game, and I love that game. I strongly recommend it if you haven't played it. And then I picked up Demon's Souls separately. Here's a PS4 game case to show that they are the exact same size. The only real difference, slightly colored label. Okay, let's get to some unboxing, shall we, friends? And this is the first time I'm seeing one of these units personally. I haven't seen any in the wild. I've heard that they're gigantic, but I'm about to see just how deep the rabbit hole goes. There's an accessory box at the very top. You can see the actual content inside of there. It seems like a good 85% of this box is just here to cradle the whole unit. I'm gonna put this on the floor and lift. Let's get it out of the plastic. First impressions of the plastic. Not gonna lie, it feels kind of cheap. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy. Let's see if we can do a length comparison. Original 60 gigabyte fat PS3. This was memed on. I used to joke about like how this could eat an Xbox back in high school. That's ridiculous, right? Although in terms of sheer weight, I think this thing is actually still heavier. No, it's pretty close. Fuck. Original PS2. That's stupid, right? So there's the front of the console. This drive underneath. The front I/O. There's a USB. I'm assuming it's a 3.0 and a Lightning USB Type-C on the front. More grills. This looks like a Kensington lock. Yeah, good luck. Good luck trying to steal one of these. Imagine like trying to... Two USB 3.0 ports on the back. LAN/RJ45 Ethernet cable on the back. HDMI in. This is... You can use any HDMI on this, but I believe the included cable, which I'll show in a second, is a cable that is capable of high resolution, high frame rate throughput. It is a new standard called HDMI 2.1, and if you want to be able to use this on a monitor or a TV and get the high refresh rate, you have to use HDMI 2.1 and then power. So this thing doesn't have an external power brick because, quite frankly, you're looking at it. Alright, the boring stuff first. Basic ass AC adapter, nothing fancy. It's literally the generic cable. Same one that you use on the PS2. I can plug this into the PS2. I can grab my PS2 one and plug it into this PS5. Quick start guide. safety guide. Ah, we're gonna meme about this in a second. But this cable, it looks like normal HDMI. It has the same physical port as HDMI, but it is indeed HDMI 2.0. So every PS5, at least this base model, comes with a dock. This dock functions as both a horizontal and a vertical dock. This thing does not sit flush. It's very, very wobbly. So it comes with a dock, a base that you can put underneath, and it'll sit hopefully more stable. Same thing with like this vertical orientation. Like, sure, it's flush at the bottom, but you know, this thing feels pretty heavy from top to bottom, so it's kind of susceptible to being knocked over. If you look at the bottom here, kind of hard to see, it's a little bit dark, but there seems to be a little thing here that I might be able to remove, and that will probably reveal a screw, and I'll be able to screw in the dock. I believe I just append it on like that, and then theoretically it'll sit flush. We've already talked about my initial impressions of the PS5. It's huge, the tones are kind of interesting, not immediately blown away by the design. But this guy right here, let's see what the controller's like. DualSense. Finally dropping the DualShock moniker. Rightfully so. I guess it's their first major redesign. How does it feel? It's big. It definitely has a bigger form factor, especially along the grips. I feel like it's actually more akin to an Xbox One controller. Like other past Sony wireless controllers, it does not have it has a rechargeable battery stock inside. The sticks feel largely the same, if not identical, to the PS4 sticks. Same clickiness. It feels big. Something that I've always thought about with the PS4 controller is that it's always felt kind of like Sony controllers have always felt slim, particularly in the grip portion of it. It's pretty substantial in the hand. These face buttons definitely feel more flush, more depressed than this thing. I am a big fan of the DualShock 4. I think they did a good job. Touchpad. It doesn't feel like an improvement yet. Better, worse, that's up to you. It's just strange to me that usually when I go to the Xbox controller, that's what I think of for like a standard fat-ass American controller. This one definitely feels pretty substantial. USB Type-C up top. Yeah, I mean, it feels solid. Like, it feels like a very well-built premium controller. Normal 3.5mm headphone jack at the bottom. These triggers are adaptive, so you guys have touched triggers before. If you've used any controller trigger, they're pretty linear stuff, linear resistance. But the way that this controller is supposed to work is, given what's happening on screen in the game, these triggers can, on the fly, in real time, change in resistance. So right now, they could become easier to press, or the example that people like to throw around is like, if you're stringing a bow, as you pull harder, the tension increases. So there's actual physical, like, tactile feedback from the triggers. But besides that, like, the normal pressure sensitivity of the buttons, and then also I think these controllers actually have a microphone in them. In theory, if you didn't have a microphone to communicate with your teammates, you could just talk and the controller will hear you and transmit that. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, that's cool. If you have a game disc, insert it now. We'll install it while you proceed with setup. I guess I'll put Spider-Man in. If you've ever unboxed a PS4 game, then you're gonna be no stranger to this process. I'm assuming this is exactly identical to PS4 games. They got codes for the original Spider-Man and some skin pack. That drive is loud. First impressions unboxing. It's fucking huge. I can't wait to try this. This feels very premium. The console, it feels premium in the wrong way. Let's just say that. Jakey, Shiunu, Dorkbander, Suri, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys IRL, in tabletop comrade stuffs, or in Eorzea. Alright guys, enjoy the rest of your night.